My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Disco Elysium. It didn't feel like I should do like a big intro or anything like that. It's a kind of somber mood. I'm a little sad that it looks like the game is definitely wrapping up in this kind of next area. What a good time it's been.
Officer, what happened? You're wounded. Why are you wounded? You look terrible.
You're not limping. You're you. I don't want to say any of those really. Some people hurt me.
Is this from the shooting in town? We heard gunshots. Not that we don't hear gunshots all the time, but they were closer than usual.
She's not letting this go that easy.
There was an exchange of fire on the Rue de Saint-Guylaine. It's nothing to be worried about, madame.
I also got shot in the chest. Point to my chest.
That's nothing to brag about, officer.
Is it not? I lived.
It's not serious. He'll be okay.
You should see the other guys. Oof. I have a question for you.
Of course. Can I help you with something?
We need to get to that island. Point to it. That won't be a problem. It's wind still, and the tower just strayed. She points to a skiff off the next to the jetty. We've got 2 days of relative sunshine ahead. What's on the island? I saw some kind of ruins through the binoculars. Used to be some kind of fortification there before the wars for the communards. An anti-aircraft gun, I think. Bombed to bits in the landing. I haven't been there myself. Always steered clear of it. Hasn't been there herself? Who has then? You said you haven't been there yourself. Who has then? If not you. My husband used to drink there. Him and his drinking buddies. Always seemed like a bad place to drink to me. People died there during the landing, you know? My mother told me. This must be one of the many fortifications that was used in the dying days of the revolution against coalition forces before they took the city. She looks around. The kids sometimes go there too. I know they do. Rafts. I tell them not to, but they bring back gold bullet casings and such. Which kids? The twins. She points to the 2 kids playing on the concrete yard. God forbid they bring some girl along on a rickety barge. Can we ask your twins about that place before we go? Would that be alright? Be my guest. She looks at the boys. They've got a strange way of talking. See if you can get anything useful out of them. I seldom do. 2 days of sunshine? I just got a bacterial infection. I'm sad to hear that. Take care of my aether, will ya? Don't get too many RCM men around here. Be sad to lose the first one. Can we borrow your boat? If you promise to bring it back. And no scraping the hull. I just got it nice and yellow. And no drinking on the boat. Her eyes narrow. And no joyriding either. Of course, ma'am. It's only for a day or two. Official police business. Aye? She nods. Not along attentively. Anything else I should know about getting there? Well, most of it's sunken. Underwater. That means concrete's underwater. Cut your boats if you're not careful. Be sure to enter from the south side. Water's deep there. Aye, aye, Captain. Thank you. We'll use this gift to get there then. She nods. Please be conservative with the fuel, will you? I just filled her up, but it's a small tank. Be seeing ya? I want to go talk to the kids. I imagine they're going to be like, oh, I found this bullet casing. And I'm like, that's a bullet casing for exactly the bullet that was killed, that killed Lely. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a stone while the other one watches him do it. Okay, kids, you've been to that island, right? On that island? The one who's kicking a stone points to the bay. Yeah, that one. I need to know what's there. That's, nothing. The boy pauses to think with his finger in his mouth. It's just a seafort in some place. You can take a raft there. It's great. And the other one butts in. We make a fire. We make a fire. His brother nods. Gather the sticks for the fire and bullets. Or not real bullets, empty bullets. Bullet shells? There are a lot of them left over from the war, but this could be important. Wait, do you mean shells? I don't know what those are. What then? These are lights. The fire guy comes in and tells us to go put the fire out. Your nerve-ending sting from the mention of a guy. They must mean a human being on that island, but it's cut off. Someone lives on the island? No? The boy answers, shaking his head vehemently. His brother looks at him, and then you. Yes? He says. The lieutenant raises his eyebrows and whips out his notebooks. Let's go with yes. Why is he the fire guy? Because the boy pauses to think. Because he asked to put the fire out. The other one explains. Why does he ask you to put the fire out? I don't know. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want people to be there. You should go. You shouldn't go. Sorry. Yeah. The other one adds laconically, standing with his hands glued to his sides like a little tin shoulder. You, soldier runner, you mentioned something about lights. One of them, it's hard to tell which now, starts. I don't know. Did you mean there are electrical lights? He points to the street light. Yeah. The boy looks at his toes. Is there anything else you can tell me about this guy? Age? Does he live there? No, he doesn't live there, I don't think. No, he lives there. The other one nods. He's been there twice. 2 times. Huh. The other one pauses to think, then comes to some sort of conclusion. He doesn't live there. He isn't there sometimes. Anything else? What does the guy look like? I don't know. They say almost in unison. How come? We ran. He just yelled we shouldn't be there. Your father used to go to that island too, didn't he? Our father killed himself. Don't say that. He didn't. His brother punches him. The boy's eyes well up like he's about to start crying. Your father did not kill himself. I don't know. The boy who made the claim finds himself unsure of it. He looks around. The other watches him, brows knitted. It doesn't even have anything to do with this, you. Father isn't the fire guy. The two questions are unconnected. The two things are unconnected. Your question didn't make sense. Is that all you know? Is there anything more you can tell me about the island? The boy says, rubbing his eyes. It's clear he has no intention of finishing the sentence. Lights? Fire guy? The lieutenant looks at you. We should check up on the island. Alright, if that's all we can do. I was kind of imagining a situation where they show us a casing and we're like, oh my god, that's exactly the casing we're looking for. So what? My interfacing just needs to be high. Oh, but if I leave for the island, that might be the end. So if I'm doing one last thing. I'm so sorry, Kim. But Kim does trust me, and I saved your life. Someone in the comments, like, I was wondering if, like, Kim was going to live through that battle no matter what. And it was just, like, you know, whether or not we were responsible for it. Small spoiler warning for alternative things that could have happened. Let's give you that right now. A comment told me that it's possible for Kim to die in that battle, and that one of the reasons Kim lived is because he really trusts us. But also that if Kim does die in that battle, you can get Kuno to join you as your partner for the end. Sorry, Kim. I'm gonna make you a little mad with this. But I think it's gonna be rad as hell. The graffito has been painted over the traces of the fight that took place here. It smells of blood and heavy fuel oil. Step back, Lieutenant. Set the graffito on fire with a lit cigarette. The fuel oil catches fire immediately. With an ominous hiss, a bright orange flash across the surface of the letters. Black smoke rises from the burning message. What if the words are not directed at the people of Martinez, or even at the coalition aerostatics above the city? They're meant for something above even those. It's meant for me. One day I will return to your side. Disco Elysium. The lieutenant has taken a small step back. He looks at your face illuminated by the flames and nods silently. Then the fire falters. The flames warmed him too. Not at all in a bad way. Let's go to that island. Slowly the flames subside and the fuel burns out. The air smells of mazout in springtime. Rad. I was a little worried that might also catch the Kupri Kinema on fire, but I had to. Also, talking about things that happened in the past that I wish I did a little bit differently. The final thing that the talking Thai wanted me to do, it was a solution of 99% pure ethanol. So I thought it was like just trying to get me to drink, and it was trying to get me to drink the strongest possible thing. right? So I thought for my character development, I should get away from that. But apparently it's not really to do with that. And apparently I just kneecapped it at the very end. Like a really fun thing that could have happened. So I can't wait until I finish the game so I can actually check what otherwise might have occurred. Rue 87, A72 motor skiff. A skiff with a small steering engine on the back floats in the calm mirror of the sea. Its 2 seats are empty, excuse me. Once you get in, that's it. One pull of the starter handle and you're off into the bay. A strange trepidation comes over you. Are you sure you want to go now? Yep. No other skill points. Have you made all the necessary preparations? Closed all your accounts? Call your station. Ooh, that's one thing I haven't done is call my station. To find out if I'm a Luputa Madre agent. That might give me enough experience to re-roll one more time. The interfacing check for make the base work in the church. Maybe. Is there anything else here for us? Jam mystery? No. This is what we're trying to do right now. No, that's later. Yeah. Literally, there's nothing else I can do. It's just call. So I know I'm spending a lot of time here wrapping up the final things, but I don't want to leave them half done. Don't want to leave these threads loose. I mean, seriously, look at the pants that Harriet Dubois is wearing. I'm a tight threads kind of man myself. Pick up the radio. I need you to connect me to a civilian. Sylvie, no, please connect me to the 41st station. Just a moment, officer.
10-4, come in, officer, over.
Jules, I've heard that some people think of me as a Luputa Madre peony. Do you think I'm corrupted?
10-4, sir.
There's a pause, as he seems to mull it over behind his enormous radio microphone.
Well, there's certainly been some talk, sir.
He says reluctantly. Some talk? What does it mean? There's been some talk. Do they think I'm corrupt or not? Does it mean people think know that I'm a dirty cop? Because I am. No. Some talk? What does it even mean there's been some talk? Do they think I'm corrupt or not?
I mean, I only meant that there's been some talk at the station, that's all. But there's always some talk at the station. You know how officers in Jamrock are. But then again, some of us are truly on the take. It's unfortunate. Over.
Listen, I've actually lost my gun too.
10-4. I know. I already wrote it on the report, but
He hesitates.
it'll stay on my desk for a few days. Over. Roger that. 10-4. Over and out.
Alright. Let me just wrap up my loose threads here. That's all I can do. And I didn't get enough experience for the reroll, so we're just going straight to the island now. Apparently a lot of it's underwater, so I wonder how much of that island is land. Alright, skip time. I wonder who did it. I'm thinking maybe like the sniper in the mercenary squad did it. Cause like they very quickly introduced us to this guy has a sniper rifle and the sniper did it. And he was very, very quick to get agitated as I mentioned, hey, I'm still solving this. You take the engine, Kim. I'll hold the boombox. What? What? How else do we blast Sad FM on our way to the island? Fine. He gives you a resigned shrug. Let's blast Sad FM then. Sad FM is a radio station specializing in sad, slow rock songs. You seem to know its frequency by heart. Are you kidding me? That gave me enough for another. I don't want to level up. Revert. I want to level up interfacing. Let's try this one more time. Yeah, there wasn't a thought that I could think that. My god, look at all these thoughts that like, all these thoughts unthunk. The diversity between runs in this game must be absolutely incredible. There we go. I have my interfacing gloves on. I mean, maybe I smoke a cigarette. Is that gonna be good for our int? Yeah, but it's not int that I need to increase, right? Yeah, it's motorics. Alright, have nothing for that. Here's our final chance.
Good morning, comrade! Yeah!
Lied about secret
Harder,
audio tech
come
lowered my
on.
chance again. 1 in 4. No. I don't know the technical term, but it needs less bzz, bzz. Yeah! Pump up the bzut zut! It's hard to say for sure, but the digital throbbing seems ever so slightly louder than before. Goodbye, Egghead. Goodbye, everyone. It's truly been a pleasure. There's absolutely nothing left. Yes, absolutely nothing left. Okay, cool. Whew. I don't know who it's gonna be. Because you'd think it would be someone that was already a part of the story for the sake of the whole mystery aspect of it. But it's possible it won't be. Get in right to the island. This is very Kim and Harry.
Want to be free. Want to be free. It will last forever. Eternally.
Sorry for being quiet through that, but I thought it was going to be like, I thought, and it was, in fact, kind of like a hauntingly melancholic sequence. And I felt like talking over the top of that might detract from it, not only for you, but also for me. In the silence, a sputter of wings. A flock of quails takes off in the distance. Let's go, he whispers. The way that that song tied in all of the motifs of previous, like, background noise, background tracks, kind of like ambient tracks for Disco Elysium was, oh, loved it. A makeshift bridge. The bombs were powerful enough to break the foundation. These tires are falling apart. They're at least 50 years old. I'll go through that way. A rusted chain trails off into the ocean. The chain trails off into the ocean, connecting the island to the supply depot on the coast. This leads to the depot in Land's End. The lieutenant looks at it and the mechanisms overhead. Ah, yes, so it seems. What do you think it was used for? For bringing munitions to the island, maybe? And supplies? You can also lock the bay when you raise the chain. As a defensive measure, locking off that side of the bay. Lock it for whom? Lock it from whom, rather? From enemies. He looks up his head. Enemies of the Communule of Revachol. The sea fort was a revolutionary fortification, I believe. Finish the thought. Okay. Attention! Inflammable. There's a lingering trace of mazout in the air. Some fuel is leaked out of the barrel. Black, viscous. So that's the fuel that's leaking down there and then draining into the ocean. This barrel says ICM. You can see stars. You see a star with little specks in it. ICM, this feels familiar somehow. ICM, like Insulindians? Citizens Militia? RCM, it sounds like RCM, Revachol Citizens Militia. It does. Why? The RCM may have descended from the NCM. May? It's impossible to say. He looks towards the darkened doorway. It was chaos after the war. The name was good for getting people to join us. Revachol West was mostly workers and criminals. Nice political thoughts rush through your neocortex. An easy failure on endurance as well. It's gonna be hard to say them. Carrying around all that weight on a busted crutch is making you pant. What I'm hearing is we descended from a glorious revolutionary army. There were all sorts of groups and groupuscles back then. It doesn't really matter. He bows to inspect the barrel. A white star. Point to the star on the label. No. He looks at it. An upside-down star. With horns to the with its horns in the sky. The symbol of the commune. Kim, what is the ICM? Insulindian, I was right. Citizens Militia. It's the official name of the Communard's army. The black and white army of the revolution. Sounds an awful lot like. Already did that one. Are those spec stars too? No, that's the uninhabited archipelago. The DeLorean era symbol of the Insulinder. Known as the face in the sea. Looks old. What's it still doing here? After, he thinks, 44 years? It's not nearly enough to hide what happened here, Lieutenant Jefferson. One of those barrels was still leaking fuel, as you saw. The city is full of things like this. Old bullets, guns, fuel. Finish that thought. Obviously, inside is where we ultimately go. Warm blood trickles down your armpit. The ligature is off. It's nothing. The little birch from the coin-operated viewer. Still holding on. No way to get up here. The stairs are gone, and no other way to approach. So, inside we go. I should probably... Perception hearing. The dry grass crackles under your feet as you stop. Faraway birds' wings touch the still surface of the sea. What is that flutter? A flock of quails departs, now more than 100 meters away. 102, 105, underneath the flutter though. On the islet, there's almost no wind, just the light movement of the air through the reeds. Bulrushes swaying on the waterline, long dried leaves chafing against one another. Like a silent orchestra tuning at the beginning of some major work. To the west, a silent hiss, sea air moving through the needles of a pine tree. To the east, a faraway roar of a city, distant like today's dream. Before it, the sound of sand. The low tide filtered through its grains, a bird tending to its feathers. Ahead, a low hum. The air slowly moves through a concrete box, through its ancient slits and cracks, resonating, hollow. A big building. Beyond that, further north, air flows out of a pillbox window. There's very little there. The air cossets flowers on the meadow. Absolute silence. Reeds motionless. Bulrushes motionless. Below the silence, Col du Mama Dakar. We are way out now, way out in the west. No, it's just your imagination. You can't hear such things. Kim. Yes? Have you noticed how quiet it is? I have. Is that why we're stopping? I have to listen to one more thing. Open my eyes and stop listening. Oh, what's... It's probably interactable from a different side. Maybe if we weren't told to go to the south side to enter. This was once an armament rest. Twin cannons were attached here. Medium distance, large caliber. Careful, these stairs have collapsed. Okay, we're gonna have to go around the facility and to interact with that. Microgrid generator. An old cylindrical generator is nestled above the Animo lift, with makeshift electrical wiring running out of its side and across the floor. The cables disappear into the wall to your right. The lieutenant puts his hand on the metal barrel, checking for warmth. It's cold now, he concludes, but someone has been maintaining it. The wiring has been repaired. Where do the wires lead? He looks at the wall socket. Downstairs somewhere. What kind of generator is this? Liquid carbon. I imagine it takes mazout. He points to the open fuel cap on the side of the dynamo. It's the kind favored by vagrants and fuel thieves. It's been a long winter. Long and cold. If anyone stayed here, they need a generator. Tap on the side. A hollow ring, the canister is empty. Dust falls from the generator and down into the ammo lift. What does this mean? A generator here? I don't know. I'm not a philosopher. That's his idea of a joke. I am. This generator proves the universe's material. Kick the generator. A small agony. Minuscule bones may have fractured, but it proves your point. Ouch. Grab your wounded toe. He nods approvingly. He even smiles. I meant, why is it here? Someone with basic electrical skills had its order to keep the room warm. Maybe it's the fire guy. The wind outside picks up suddenly with a faint howl. Inside it's warm. Books, mostly fantastique and historical fiction. Dishes stained with sauce and fire. A survivor's kitchen. You see candles planted on a broken rangefinder. A moth-bitten bed keeps the winds out. A moth-bitten bedsheet, rather, keeps the winds out. There's a greasy old spring mattress in the corner, resting on a pile of soft-cover books. White linen and pillow are visible under a worn-out Karakul blanket. Someone has been squatting here. The lieutenant inspects the bed. The linen is fresh. Recently washed. How recently... You force the rest of the sentence out through pain, thick as molasses, no longer able to hear yourself speak. You know, officer? He looks at you with a touch of concern. You can rest here if you're feeling tired. I will keep watch. You could maybe use some rest for what's ahead. No time to rest now. Yes, anytime. You can rest later. It's okay by me. You don't have to be a hero. Fallen Arrower shirt. Baby, we've almost got like a full Fallen shirt. We just need like a Fallen pants at this point. Put the Fallen gloves on as well, just in case that's like an achievement. You got all the Fallen kit on. I don't have like Fallen glasses, do I? No. What's this? Fallen pants? Army surplus winter scarf. -1 to composure, but +2 to empathy. Actually, let's also read the shirt and the scarf here. This towy old scarf itches when wrapped around the neck. It has humanitarian aid written all over it. Yet you know that thousands across the Isla are suffering the same fate as you. The fate of uncomfortable army surplus scarves. +2 for plight of the underclass, and -1 sucks to be poor. And the shirt is, this farm training shirt has seen one wash too many. It retains its unusual design, one sleeve long, the other short, but little of its original colors. The giant F swooshes across the chest, now in gray. Let's read these books. Books and magazines lie scattered on the floor of a makeshift cupboard. They were not particularly well organized. Sift through them. Most are softcovers, serialized fantastique and detective stories from the 20s and 30s. This disparate digest includes the classic animal adventures. Popular depictions of man versus nature by amateur naturalists T and T. Harpin, husband and wife. Widely read by people from all walks of life. Who doesn't like nature? Who doesn't want to survive? Among what is mostly commercial fiction and serialized stories, you find a magazine cathodique for electrical engineering. Then it's back to pulp, light erotica, and an international thriller about circuit benders. Someone's made themselves a home. The lieutenant inspects the softcover. Does this stand out as unusual? All things communist gives me plus to that. I'm going to change my shirt to get conceptualization on and see if I have anything lowering it. I don't. Okay, that's the best I can do. Oh, yes. Under the bed there is a rather extensive collection of critical theory, that is, dour, life non-affirming left-wing literature, published by small imprints such as the Abattoir Forme and Elysium. It's not exactly light reading. Look, Kim, powerful communist theory, rigorous and truthful. Elysium. He enunciates the word diligently. I agree, humanitarian sciences. It stands out. Not a lot of critical theory around Revachol West. Your incendiary remark has failed to provoke him. Critical theory books, what do you think that means? Again, I am not a philosopher. But whoever has lived here, they have some education. And a certain set of interests. Interesting. Oh. Oh. No, there's no way. There's no way, right? There's no way the killer is somehow us. Because we got called to come into the town after the murder happened. And I can imagine that it's possible that this environment has changed to suit what I've been doing through the whole run. Like, it's given me, communist propaganda there, because effectively every time I got the opportunity to propagandize, it was like, I did it. Get some magnesium. A little bit of money there. A little bit of money there. So, this great blast storm must weigh over 10 tons. Rust peels off of it. You see a small metal door nested inside a larger one. A heavy steel blast door. There's a conventional keyhole above the handle. It's very small. What's on the other side? Another part of the island, probably. The lieutenant looks into the keyhole. The lock looks like it's good. The lock looks like it could still be usable. How do we open this? He looks at the door, then at its bigger brother, and then at the lock. Maybe this is one of the doors we don't open? He's right. It would be better to open its big brother. A powerful engine hangs under the ceiling. It must control the blast door. You're right. We open the big one. Do you see the controls anywhere? I think there's a console just southeast. He shuffles to keep his feet warm. Let's look around. Getting the blast door open seems like the best plan. Wait, hang on. It might be like under this. Yeah, you go under in order to get to this console. Got it. The hatch is jammed shut. Water rushes from below, far down below. Let's have a look outside first. I imagine the final confrontation is going to take a while as well, so... A firing slit. You can't see inside. There might be a lot more to this island than I thought. It must have taken a direct hit to take out such a huge chunk. The distant sound of cargo ships. Signal horns echo on the water. There might be one more episode in this. Look out onto the ocean, Kim. Isn't it romantic? Kim, I've changed my mind. Kim, I don't want to solve the case. I'm just going to propose to you right now. Why don't we just live happily ever after? The pain in your pelvis makes you wince. Then you continue. The inside of the fortress. You can make out the console and the blast door. LUM fuel canister. There's still some fuel in this battered canister. A liter or two. The metal looks old, decades old, and the logo of an automotive manufacturer, LUM, has faded on the side. That's going to be for powering the generator, I imagine. A weathered artillery map showing coordinates in the Bay of Revachol. An old medical cabinet, stocked with Dramamine. There's a rain-soaked mattress on a concrete slab, only half covered by the crumbling roof. At the head of it, double embrasures, firing slits, like two eyes in a wall. B triple prime. The lieutenant lowers his voice, stepping in closer with his hand on his gun. This looks like a good place to shoot from. Inspect the mattress first. A single-person mattress, modern, civilian use. Brand name, Marjorie. There's a fuel stain on the cover, along with cigarette burns. And an empty can of beans next to it on the ground, filled to the brim with cigarette butts. Pick one out of the can. The silhouette of tobacco picker adorns the paper filter. The brand? Tiomaltiri. We've heard of that before. Contemporary Revacholians prefer Druin, local brand from the Southern Islands, or Astra, the legendary cigarette from Grad. Tiomaltiri is favored by older men for its paper filter tips, sweet smell, and added tar. Tiomaltiri, like the one we found in Land's End, remember? I may have been wrong when I said it was unimportant. He stares into the can for a second, rather. This means the same person could have visited both locations. I don't see any signs of smoking inside, though. If people live there, they keep it tidy. The seer may also be a smoking spot. Inspect the wall. There's a firing slit in the wall in front of you. Like a little window. Touch the concrete first. Quite old and grimy from years of without cleaning by anything other than the rain. Look through the hole in the concrete. The springs screech as you lean on the mattress and crane your neck to look out. Trepidation, a tingling feeling in your stomach. A small piece of Martinique coastline opens up in the square in front of you, like a tiny landscape painting. 1 kilometer across the water, the ruins look familiar. On the left, a towering skyscraper, its top floors shaved off by artillery fire. Cape Side apartments, Rue de Saint-Ghislain 33A and 33B on the right. The red chimney and collapsed back of the 4-story tenement of the in front of the Whirling in Rags. Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10, the doomed commercial area, and between the two, the box-shaped silhouette of the Whirling in Rags. You see a small fleck of white on the rooftop. The upstairs window of Classier's room in the rain, reflecting night. Reflecting light, rather, sorry. The upstairs window of Classier's room in the rain. Reflecting light. Motherfucker. What does it mean? Do you have line of sight to the window? More than that. Kim, with a pair of binoculars, I would be able to see inside the room. A pair of binoculars? Or a scope of a rifle? He points to the makeshift bed. You'd be prone, lying on the mattress, barrel resting on the embrasure. He pats you on the back, 3 small pats in a row. I think we have it. The origin of the shot. This is the sniper's nest. Affirmative. Finally. In our defense, nothing pointed here. Many, many leads pointed elsewhere. 6 people are dead, Kim. Don't beat yourself up, officer. We did not put guns in their hands or get them drunk. The lieutenant pauses. Regret comes over him. He looks north over the fortification, then adds, we'll make up for it. Here, I feel it. Could the shooter still be here? Well, he looks on his back. In Martinet. Right here, point at the... I don't know what that is, but I'm going to say it. Right here, point at the mattress. You think so? He whispers, pointing to the mattress. We would see them if they were here. Perhaps it's No, officer, this is not an invisible shooter, but He lowers his voice even further. This island, on the other hand. You think he's here? Or she? He almost whispers. We should move. Turn away. I don't know if I'm going to be able to inspect that down there from where I'm standing. Can I? Oh, no, I can loop around here, though. You feel eyes on your back. Someone's watching, but you can't say where. The winch is broken. Rust has eaten what remains of the chain. The depot that supplied this chain is long gone from the coast. A strange feeling looking out at the water. Maybe you should just wander off into the sea. Leave it all and walk in. But it's cold. Yes, cold and still. But love is warm like the inside of her mouth. No, 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 no. Yes, yes, yes. No, no. We're not starting with that. Not now. Not this time. This thought is over. Why? Perhaps there's someone there under the water waiting for you. Where it always has been. Smelling of tutti frutti and betrayal. Baby, you know this is gonna hurt. Raise your sight. In the rain mirror of the bay, you see Martinet reflected. Tall edifices of ruins reach into the water like shimmering towers. And the shacks, too. Pine trees and motor lorries upside down. Islets and posts like stepping stones leading into the water in front of you. Go, step in. It's been too long. Shake your head. For the moment, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Elysium. I imagine the next episode is probably going to be the finale. So I hope to see you there.